Comrade River, Colonel John Chester came to visit you. Yes, thank you. Invite him in, please. I'm glad to meet you at last, Frank. I mean, Comrade River. Good morning, Comrade Colonel. Please take a seat. Would you like a cigarette? Much obliged, and it's cozy here. Not at all like the office I got. No posters, no handbooks, no regulations. I thought it was like that only in the army. I mean, I sympathise. Yep, but you're the one who deserves sympathy here. Why do you think so? You were assigned to a real nest of vipers, full of slippery, servile, greedy for benefits proletarians. I'm afraid you're going a bit too far. Our country was founded on the principle of defending the proletariat's happiness. Our country was created for the happiness of all people, but Iron One workers want to be happier than the rest, you and I included. Colonel, I hope I'm mistaken in assuming that important work you want to discuss is just idle reflections on people's happiness. Yeah, you run a tight ship, of course. I remember about our problem. I was getting to that part. The thing is that the local workers are hogging the blanket, and their demands for medical insurance don't take into account the harmonious existence with the other strata of our society. They don't take us into account. The police need the support of the city committee, and if you don't forget us in such a deplorous situation, we, in turn, won't forget you. Well, I agree, we do need to support the police. So, I think I finally understand what you mean. The things that you were talking about look like the plotting of the counter-revolutionaries. I can promise you full support of the city committee. You just need to call me and I'll do my best to normalise the situation in the city. Great, thank you, Comrade River. You can count on me as well. You know, I have one intern, Clark Orwell, a diligent and capable fellow. Once he finishes his current assignment, I'll send him to you. Let him practice in an unfamiliar environment. Goodbye. The city committee always needs assistance, so I'll keep him busy. All the best, Comrade Colonel. Goodbye. Okay, to work. The miners' district are disappointed with us. Which one is the miners' district? Wolfram. Okay. Good day. As you know, the latest political reforms in the Union have led to changes in the law. In particular, there is an opportunity now for ordinary citizens to start private businesses in high-priority development regions such as Iron One. Therefore, I have the right to apply for registration of my own enterprise. As a former public catering worker, I'm going to open a bakery at Henrik-Strasser Street, Building 5. All required documents are attached below. I hope to receive your approval. Comrade Alvin Beard. Secretary note, Alvin Beard's great-grandfather fought for reactionary forces during the Civil War. The Black Guardian's descendants are poor candidates for participation in the party's experimental programs. Well, I see no reason to deny him. It was his grandfather, not him. Soon, Comrade Beard will open his bakery, waiting for the city committee to process his request and register his business. You hope Beard will be wise enough to send you something tasty as a thank you gift. Oh yeah. For some reason my mouse cursor is not working so well. Dear Comrade River, it's not a secret that the ethnic question is an acute one for Iron One. I am Kentish, you are Corvinian. That would be a problem for many of our fellow citizens, but is it really that hard to understand each other? I don't think so. Our nations can continue to live in peace. In an effort to emphasize this, I am going to apply for placing a monument to Kentish heroes of the Civil War. I designed it to specifically the city's centre. Yes, some of the citizens' reaction will be ambiguous. Many Corvinians still think that our heroes fought only for the independence from the old empire. It is definitely wrong. Kentish revolutionaries such as Stephen and Bendir fought for equality and social justice, just as Klaus Wolfram himself did. That's why I think my initiative will strengthen the understanding between our nations. Please see the attached draft of the monument. So how do I see the attachments? Personally, I don't think building monuments to civil wars is a great use of government money, so no. You've saved the historic appearance of the Revolution Martyr Street. Views differed about the prohibition of the monument, but at least it will not provoke any unrest. Sorry, I can't speak today. Glory to the working people, Comrade River. Unfortunately, I'm writing to you quite joylessly. I am a secretary of the gas supply department and I want to complain about my chief, Marcus Kleiner. However, it would be more accurate to say, blame my chief. I have evidence of Kleiner's involvement in corruption schemes that permeate all municipal structures. I know for a fact that he has connections, allowing him to smash me like a bug. That's why I'm applying to the Integrity Division, but directly to you. Copies of all documents and the evidence I have collected will be sent to you shortly. I hope that we can send this villain to jail. Glory to the working people. So we can examine the evidence. I mean, we owe it to the people to look into that. Dear Comrade River, head of the Committee of Iron One, last night Marcus Kleiner was arrested. Based on the documents you've given and the results of our investigation, you've got a complete picture of the crime and indicts this scoundrel for embezzlement and exceeding his authority. In addition, we are hot on the trail of his associates who will also be indicted for different crimes. Municipal workers don't seem too happy with our actions, but it won't help them much. We'll clean up this nest of criminal vermin anyways. Yours faithfully, John Chester. Good, we've got to clean up the city. To Comrade Francis River from the Orion district. Hello, Comrade River. My name is Frank too, but my last name is Fernsby. I'm in charge of the Iron One Railway Junction. I wish I could say that I'm writing just to greet the new head of the city, but that's not true. In fact, I have to report some quite unpleasant things. Let's start with the fact that our railway section is almost entirely worn out. I'm not only talking about passenger trains, though they've become more frequent lately. I'm talking about the plant. Entire trains of scrap go there all the time, returning with processed products. It's all wonderful. Jobs, a strong economy, increasing workers' welfare, but for some reason there have been no money for a complete repair of the railroad tracks for a few years now. Perhaps it seems to our dear pen pushers, I'm not talking about you of course, that the railroad is something like a river which flows by itself and will flow forever. Well, that's bullshit. We need new railroad ties to replace the rotten ones. We need new rails as well, even though they don't rot. But have you heard anything about metal fatigue? We need equipment. We need people. My fellows couldn't be better, of course, but there aren't many of them, and after all, they're not gods. As we know, there are not gods. There are no gods. Needless to say, we do what we can. Otherwise, the trains would derail every week. But there's no way to avoid this kind of thing without a major infrastructure upgrade. I hope I was able to convey the gravity of the situation and was not too rude. I think the rails are really important, so let's go all out for it. Took care of the overhaul of the railroads. It seems Fernsby has started to consider you a friend. Ah, good old Fernsby. Last letter of the day. It's time to finally do something about those metal junkyards. Forgive my emotionality, if you mind, but it's simply unbearable. They take rails, pipes, and even bundles of cut wires and don't ask those who bring the stuff any questions. They don't care that the buildings are left without electricity, that the railroad will have to buy new rails to replace the stolen ones. Nothing of the sort has ever happened before in the past. Anyone who had even the slightest idea of bringing something stolen there would immediately be handed over to the police. This is utterly ridiculous. Yes, I understand the plant needs raw materials and recycling is good and so on, but everything has its limit. Drunkards are pulling our city apart in order to earn some money, and we are silently repairing the ruined property. It seems to me that you can simply prohibit them from accepting clearly illegal scrap, and then fine, and fine again in the case of any violations. I'm even ready to head a commission that will supervise the enforcement of the ban. Jean Kepler, Yeah, I agree it shouldn't be done, but a ban should be fine. I think that's fine. Let's just have a look at Kepler, her file, if we have one. Oh yeah, here we go. Came from the Metropolitan Proletariat. Participant in the student strikes, yada yada yada, Great Revolution, Civil War, injured during the war and relocated. No, okay. I mean, it doesn't really give me any useful information about her. It's time to finally do something about those metal junkyards. Forgive my emotionality, if you mind, but it's... Oh, okay, yes, we've already read that one. So what do we do about this? I don't think we need a commission. I think a ban should suffice. You've set new rules for the collection and recycling of scrap metal in Iron 1, but did not fund the creation of a commission that Kepler proposed. Still, it's better than nothing. Exactly, I can't do every commission. What unfinished work do I have? I have unfinished business. Get back to work. What business is unfinished? Oh, I see. Indeed, two people tried to smuggle buckets of orange paint into the vehicle's fleet of the Livelihood Committee at night. The agent gave chase. Unfortunately, the agent failed to catch anyone. Was it because the long wait irritates hot-tempered people? The inefficiency of your action has made it impossible to delay the investigation any further. Now Comrade Copper, who is competent enough not to waste his attention on such trifles, will have to deal with this matter. Think about it, Comrade River. Okay. Vegetable warehouse. An inspection conducted by the Regional Economic Commission has shown that up to several tons of agricultural products per month disappear from the vegetable warehouse in the Bazaar district, called the Agriculturalist. However, the administration of the warehouse denies the fact of theft, referring to errors in accounting and natural deterioration of the product. A full-scale inspection by the Integrity Division seems undesirable as it would be long, expensive and inefficient. The party recommends that you conduct your own investigation and submit the results directly into the Regional Committee. Your failure will lead to the start of an official investigation and will poorly affect the image of the City Committee of Iron 1. We need to put the eyes on the vegetable warehouse. Okay, I think we'll just spy on it. So here we used him, and he was too hot-tempered for spying, I guess. Eric Hoffman, average height, brown, model haircuts, Corvinian, born in Iron 1, non-party, married a nurse at the First City Hospital, amateur guitarist, took part in Bard Song Festival twice, served in the People's Militia. He graduated from a technical school, specialty mechanic. Showed no interest and took a job as a salesman at Harvard. Fungi and likes to joke. Mediocre physical form due to a childhood illness. He smokes. Catherine came to Ireland to visit her family. She is sociable, easily gets people to like her, with rare exceptions. Fond of an alpine skiing. Major scientific interest is the history of ancient. I think we're going to send her in as a seasonal worker. She just gets on with people. She'll find out what's going on. Miners district. Epidemic. It seemed like a common cold. Cough, high temperature, malaise. But the illness is much more serious. Patients have severe complications. The high contagiousness of the new infection has led to the dwindling resources of the city hospital, and the distribution of the remaining drugs is strictly controlled. The situation is worse in poor districts, as their residents don't have the connections to receive treatment. If the situation goes out of control, the epidemic will engulf the entire city. It will be a catastrophe. Solve the problem by spending. I think we should solve the problem. It's only going to get worse if we don't. I don't understand. Oh, so I need more medical supplies, and I don't have more medical supplies. Is that what that's saying? So I guess I have to click later then. How do I get more medical supplies? Where is the hospital? Oh, there. Okay, I don't understand how I get more medical supplies at this time. Comrade River, you have a letter from a man named Paul Traub. I think I've already heard this name somewhere. Thanks, Helen. I'll take a look. By the way, my name is Francis. We've talked about this, remember? I'll get used to it, Francis. See that you do, Helen. You've got mail. Comrade River, hello, my name is Paul Traub. Please read this letter, I think it will interest you. I am a journalist. You may remember my articles in the Iron Herald. Just a few years ago they were still on the front page, but recently I was rushed to a well-deserved rest. I am indeed not young, but it is not the only point. The wind of freedom that brought you the post of mayor has turned my own head. It seemed to me that the call for a new society was sincere, and I accepted it with all my heart. Of course, you know that corruption is one of the main ailments of our state. It seems logical that the fight against corruption is a struggle for the cause of the revolution. Thinking that this will be enough to keep myself out of harm's way, I started investigating thefts at the meat processing plant. A couple of weeks later, the material with the names and volumes of stolen goods was on the table of the editor-in-chief. In another 3 days, I was retired, and instead of the investigation, they published an article on nutrition. I reckon that the chief editor really started to eat better. Now, everything has become very obvious to me. It was very naive of me to expect that the grassroots initiative would have no consequences. Frankly speaking, I got off with small losses. They simply made it clear to us it's time to forget about writing articles and get used to playing dominoes with the other useless fossils like me. But old fools are slow learners, and I'm not into playing dominoes, therefore I'm going to continue my activity. Of course, they won't publish my works, the police will just laugh, and that's at best. This is why I will send the results of my research to you, so someone who can give them a move over the heads of our celestials. Cooperation is mutually beneficial. I will have something to do. You will show yourself a talented and responsible leader, and villains like those who threw me out of work will be powerless. The head of the city is out of their league. I hope you didn't take me for a village idiot. I've seen a lot of these people during my time in the newspaper. In any case, I expect to send you over the case materials I'm working on by the end of the month, and then you can decide how to deal with them. Writing to your predecessor would be ridiculous. Fortunately, you're not like him. Paul Traub. That was non-stop today. Head of the City Committee, Francis River, is on the line. Hello, Comrade River. This is Jack Chester, head of the Klaus Wolfram Metallurgical Plant. Hello, Comrade Chester. Glad to meet you. And I'm so glad. Congratulations on your appointment as head of the City Committee. Could you spare me a minute? Certainly, go ahead. Comrade River, I got a call from the regional committee. They asked to convey that since you are the head of our glorious city now, you need to speak to the workers of the plant. It's strange. Why did they call you and not me? Apparently, they decided to contact me directly so I could immediately take on the organization. I'll pick you up tonight at about 7 o'clock. It looks like I don't exactly have a choice. I'll be waiting for you, Comrade Chester. Goodbye, Comrade River. Ugh, if you want to do that tonight. More phones. Comrade River? Yes, it's me. How can I... Francis, why did you allow a shortage of essential medication? Do you want to spark an epidemic? But that's Comrade Backcott's area of expertise. Do not shift responsibility. Fighting emergency situations is the responsibility of the city committee, as well as providing the city with everything necessary. It's your job, which, frankly, you're not doing very well right now. But I can't personally... Great! You have no idea about the specifics of the transport and logistics system in advanced development regions. What specifics? They didn't warn me about anything like this, neither at the university nor on the ground. Do not waste time on excuses. Just listen and remember well. Iron 1 is an essential link in the production chain for the entire region. The products of the metallurgical plant should be distributed daily based on the actual need of the other cities, which in turn provide Iron 1 with everything it needs. If you have a shortage of any resources, then you and only you are the one who must ensure their supply through a barter system. Have all hands on deck at the plant if necessary. Barter system? That sounds a lot like capitalism. If I were you, I wouldn't criticize the party-approved experimental program, Comrade River. This way, it won't be long until you earn a reputation of reactionary element. And why would we need reactionaries in important positions? Take action. Can aggregate resources using the map of the region. Ah! Scroll to request more medicine from the city. So this is medicine. Okay, so it's on or off. So it needs more metal, organised delivery, or labourers will have problems. Oops. Okay, so it gives exactly what is needed. But now this place has none, so it will produce no oil. So I can send them free, and then we'll have the oil. Operation mode standard, intensive, critical. That just makes everyone work harder, I see. But it'll make the people less happy. Interesting. No need to do that just yet. We have everything that we need. Return to the office when you're ready. Your orders will be executed by the following day. Okay, so I can't solve that yet. Still. Hey, we're done for the day. Long day today. Okay, most people are happy with our day. Good evening, Comrade Chester. Yes, it is indeed a great evening, Comrade Head of the City Committee. How do you feel about your new post? I need time to settle in. I feel like a stranger here. Well, Francis, you'll get used to it. Have you prepared a speech? Yes. To tell the truth, I'm a little worried. I have never had to speak before an audience. Never mind, they're just workers. They don't actually care about your speech. Then what's all this for? A mere formality, but it's important. Oh, it seems we have already arrived. After you, Francis. Frank, my dear comrades, proletarians, I'm glad to be with you today, to see your bright faces. Your hard work is the pride not only of our city, but also of the entire union of people's orange communes. I swear, in front of all the people gathered here, to fulfill my duty to the citizens of Iron One, and to work so that the party will be proud of the results as much as it is proud of you. Thank you, comrades. Great speech, Francis. You were worrying about nothing. Now it's my turn. Walter Wise. Comrade River, I urgently need to speak to you. Hello, and you are? My name is Walter Weiss. I represent the Workers' Union. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, Comrade River. We have a difficult situation at the plant. It's caused by the medical insurance reform. Why do you think so? Your predecessor, Comrade Lebrowski, never gave us an answer. This is my third day here, Comrade Weiss. And that is why we decided to meet you personally. We asked you to review the reform. Comrade Weiss, I'm sorry, but we have to go now. I'm sure he'll get it sorted out some other day. New day, Thursday, September 15th. Hi, Helen. Good morning, Francis. Good morning, Helen. Meetings with the heads of the city committee are scheduled for today. Lieutenant Colonel Bayer from the fire committee has already arrived. Well, let him in. Comrade River, good morning. And good morning to you, Comrade Lieutenant Colonel. In order not to waste neither your time nor my time, I'll get straight to the point. Firefighters in our city are in acute need of practically everything. We only have a handful of cars in working condition. My people go on calls praying to at least to get to the place of the incident. If a serious fire would really happen in the city, we won't be able to deal with it. We will be lucky if we can contain it. We barely have enough money for salaries and social guarantees. I hope I conveyed the seriousness of the situation clearly enough, and you will take it into account when allocating the budget. I really hope that I will be able to help you, but you must understand that I have to hear everyone else out as well to have a clearer picture of the situation in the city. The situation in the city? The situation is that we have one of the largest metallurgical plants in the country, and its equipment wear and tear does nothing to reduce the risk of fire. I won't be able to cope with a fire in such a large and decrepit building. You're a man from far away, but I think you're able to assess the scale of disaster if the whole city would suddenly find itself out of work. I share your concern, but the situation is complicated for more than just yourself, so I cannot give you any premature promises. Copy that. I'll wait for your final decision, Comrade River. Goodbye, Comrade Bayer. Helen. Comrade River, Carl Babcock, Chief Doctor of the First City Hospital, is waiting for you. Let him in, Helen. Oh, it's going to be one of those days. Good afternoon, Comrade River. Good afternoon, Comrade Babcock. Bacco? I don't know. Carl Bacco. You can call me Carl. Good, that's much easier. I really don't like all these formalities. Excuse me, Carl, but I'm probably young enough to be your son. Well, as you wish. I hope we will be able to overcome these prejudices in the future. Just showing my respect, Carl. Respect for you and your profession. Oh, I could go for hours talking about how respect is earned by deeds and not by age, but I'm afraid we've got work to discuss. I'm listening, Carl. Just doing it on purpose now. You'll probably be surprised, but I will not try to beg for funding by talking about my troubles and hardships. Although dramatising is an old habit of the heads of departments of our city, I would like to talk about something else. About the successes of our city hospital. With your honourable predecessor, Comrade Lebrowski, we introduced a new package of medical insurance for workers of the Klaus Wolfram Park. Common working people can now get extensive medical care. It sounds great, Comrade Bacot, but you didn't come here to boast, did you? You're right. We really want to extend the new package to all civil servants of our city, and we can't do so without tapping into the city budget. Didn't you say you were going to ask for money? Didn't you say you weren't going to ask for money? Oh, please, I refuse to exaggerate. We have enough funding for all of our basic needs, but it could always be better. Well, sounds reasonable. I'll think about it and I'll let you know about my decision in the next few days. Goodbye then, Comrade River. Goodbye, Carl. Okay, so they don't really need help. Oh, Helen. Comrade River, Jan Kipler, head of the Livelihood Committee, is here. My God, there is no end to them. I can't keep up with all this stuff. What should I answer? Tell her that I'm out for lunch. It will be done. Thank you, Helen. Seems like a good place to take a break. Thanks very much for watching, guys. We'll be back very soon. Goodbye.